Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Cooking with Tovia. And if you want to find out how to make this delicious lasagna with homemade marinara sauce with no boiling of the noodles required, then stick around. Here are the ingredients you'll need for today. Don't forget to follow me on social media and subscribe and hit the bell for new videos every Monday at midnight Eastern Standard Time. So, the first thing I'm going to do is cut my tomatoes. This is going to cut the top stem portions off and cut them into quarters. I'm going to put them in my food processor. So now I'm going to process it in the food processor. So I got some ground beef that I've just browned and I drained all the fat from just for the sake of time. And I saved a couple tablespoons of the fat from the ground beef. And then what I'm going to do is add my onions and cubanelle peppers. Cubanelle is an Italian pepper, and they're sweet. And I'm going to stir in the peppers and onions. The onion, I just chopped it finely. So I'm going to take this to high heat. Those are medium. And what I'm going to do is pour in my pureed tomatoes. I'm going to pour in some chicken broth. I'm not going to add salt to the end because the chicken broth has salt in it and we don't want this to be too salty. So this is my chicken broth. And then I have here black pepper, red pepper, dried oregano, dried parsley, dried basil, and thyme. And I'm going to stir all that in. And also I have here garlic powder. And then we're going to cook this on medium for a while. But the last thing I'm going to add is some sugar. Sugar is to cut the acidity. This is tomato paste. So I'm going to add tomato paste. This just helps thickens the sauce and gives it a little bit more color because we're not using red wine. Usually red wine will give it that depth of color. Let's stir all this together. And then we're going to let this cook for about 45 minutes on about medium heat. And we're going to stir this every 15 minutes. I'm going to cover this and let this cook the entire time, but stir every 15 minutes, leave it on medium heat. We want this to reduce to about half. This is starting to boil vigorously. I'm going to cover this with the lid and I'm going to let this cook for an hour. I'm going to stir this every 15 minutes. It might take between 30 minutes to an hour, but we want it to reduce halfway. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time with my voice today because it's winter time and I'm sick. But we'll be back. I'm going to show you the steps. So it's been 15 minutes and I have this going on medium high and I'm going to give this a stir. And you see it's only been 15 minutes and you see the color has changed greatly. One thing I forgot to mention was mushrooms. Got to add them. I don't know how I forgot. And I'm going to let that go again for another 15 minutes. But I'm going to put it on medium. So it's on medium heat. We're going to let it go for 15 more minutes. Okay, so it's been 15 minutes. And I turned the heat off and I let it sit for a while. So I let this cook for a total of 45 minutes. So the first thing I'm going to do is add an egg to my cottage cheese. If you want to use ricotta, you can, but I just prefer cottage cheese. I mix the egg and the cheese together. Now we're going to assemble the lasagna. So I'm going to do a thin layer of sauce on the bottom of my lasagna pan. This is a 9x13. Putting the sauce on the bottom prevents the lasagna noodles from sticking to the pan and burning. And I'm going to use some lasagna noodles that I don't have to boil. These are oven ready. So I'm going to do a layer of noodles across the bottom. Layer. Then I'm going to spread some of my ricotta cheese mixture over the noodles. And like I said, if you're not using, I know I called it ricotta cheese, but this is cottage. But I know most of you are going to use ricotta, unless you don't like it. So then I'm going to do a thin layer of cheese. If you want to add Parmesan cheese at this point, you can add a thin layer of Parmesan, but I'm just going to do mozzarella only. And then on top of this goes a layer of sauce. And spread that over. Then I'm going to do lasagna noodles. This time I'm going to lay them this way, just so they can kind of overlap when it bakes. Then I'm going to do a layer of cheese, mozzarella cheese. If you're using both mozzarella and Parmesan, it'll go at this point. Just a thin coating of cheese. And then goes another layer of sauce. And spread it over. And then another layer of noodles. And then for this layer goes the remaining cheese sauce. The ricotta or cottage, whichever you're using, will go on top. Just spread it over as evenly as you can. And then I'll do another layer of mozzarella cheese. And then I'm going to add half of the remaining sauce mixture. And then on top of this goes another layer of noodles. And then the remaining sauce goes on top of that. Spread it over evenly. Trying to make sure all the noodles is covered with the sauce completely. You don't want any of the noodles to be uncovered because the noodles will not cook properly. You'll have some dry bits. And then I'm going to add the remaining mozzarella cheese on top. So we're going to cover this with a piece of foil. And we're going to bake this covered in the 375-degree oven for 25 minutes. And after 25 minutes, we're going to remove the foil and bake it for another 25 minutes. So 375-degree Fahrenheit oven. And we're going to remove it from the oven. And we're going to peel the foil off. Some stripping out. Okay, so this is going to go back in the oven for 30. We're going to bake it uncovered. So here is the lasagna. But I let it bake uncovered for 25 minutes and I took it out. And I let the pan sit for about 20 minutes so it can cool off. So I'm going to slice a piece. And we're going to just lift this out of the pan. It lifts out pretty easily. Okay, so here is the lasagna. Look at those layers. Absolutely delicious. I can't wait to dig into it. So I'm gonna cut it. Hopefully you guys can see all of that cheese. I can't wait to taste this homemade marinara that we put inside the lasagna. Oh wow, this is absolutely delicious. You gotta try this with your family, guys. Try this recipe. Absolutely delicious, full of flavor, not very hard to make. The most difficult part of this recipe is the layering, I believe. But really easy, delicious lasagna that you guys can try at home. And you can serve this with the salad. I'm going to serve this with the spinach salad. Or you can put spinach inside of it. I hope you guys try this recipe and enjoy it. Please give me a thumbs up. Please share this video. Leave a comment. If you have a request, leave that in the comment section. Please remember to live and be well. Let's do what we can to come together to love one another. Happy New Year, everyone.